One of the biggest real estate scams in Florida history is finally coming to an end. Almost 10,000 homeowners signed away their property rights for 40 years in exchange for as little as $300. In this video, I'm going to expose exactly how MV Realty's predatory scheme worked, how to remove an MVR lien from your property if you have one, and most importantly, how to protect yourself from similar scams that are still operating. After watching this, you'll know exactly what red flags to watch for when anyone offers you free money tied to your home. My name is Bishoy Habib, and I'm the realest real estate attorney you know. Over the past 13 years, I've closed over 1,000 transactions totaling $12 billion. And I'm proud to say that even before this latest news, I helped several clients successfully fight and remove MVR liens because they are a complete scam, and I, to my core, will fight against them. In fact, I'm proud to say that the litigation attorney at my firm, Levacy Legal, was the first attorney in the state of Florida to report MVR to the Attorney General back in the day. That was 6.5 years ago, so you can imagine this is a great day for everyone in Florida. So what exactly was MVR doing? Here's how the scam typically worked. You'd get a call or a mailer from MV Realty offering you a little cash for your home equity. They'd make it sound like a no-brainer. Free money with no strings attached. All you had to do was agree to use MV Realty as your listing agent whenever you eventually decided to sell your home. Doesn't sound terrible, right? When you agreed, they'd send someone to your house with a stack of documents. Now, most people expected to sign a simple listing agreement. Instead, they were pressured into signing this complex homeowners benefit agreement, as they called it. But it wasn't just a listing agreement, it was a 40-year lien on your property that required you to pay MV Realty at least 3% of your home's value, whether they ever provided any services or not. I said 40 years, 40 by the way. The agreement was structured like a mortgage, but without the protections that come with a traditional mortgage. There was no truth in lending disclosure, no right of rescission, no good faith estimate of costs. It was designed to trap homeowners in a web of obligations they didn't understand. And they definitely didn't understand them. Many victims only discovered the true nature of the agreement when they tried to refinance or sell their homes years later, and this is when a lot of the clients contacted me. That's when the title companies would find this lien on their property and inform them that they couldn't proceed without paying MV Realty thousands of dollars. And think about the position that puts you in if you're trying to sell your property and you're in a hurry, you got a contract with a closing date, and now you got all this pressure to figure it out with MV Realty. And so even though you know it's a scam, can you really wait it out for a year or 2 years and sue them and put all that money up? Or would you just pay them out of the proceeds and move on? And that's what most people did, with a couple exceptions. But most people couldn't afford to sue them and fight this and keep it going and put their transaction on hold and potentially default under their contract. And so that's how they got you, they squeezed you. But let me break down exactly how predatory this really was. Let's say you got a $500 check from MVR and your home is worth $300,000. You would owe them 3% of that value, which is $9,000. That's 18 times what they gave you. And here's the kicker. You'd have to pay that fee even if you never sold your home. You want to refinance? You got to pay the fee. You want to get a line of credit? You got to pay the fee. You want to pass your home to your kids when you die? They'd have to pay that fee. Even if your property was foreclosed on, you had to pay that fee. Think about that for a second. You could lose your home to foreclosure and MV Realty would still have dibs on 3% of the property value on the equity. It was insane. MV Realty's marketing was deliberately misleading. They told homeowners that they wouldn't owe anything until they decided to sell. But that wasn't true. The payment was triggered by all sorts of events that had nothing to do with selling, refinancing, transferring the property, or even foreclosure. They also violated telemarketing laws by calling millions of people on the do not call list. They were essentially spam calling homeowners across the country, targeting people who were in financial distress and needed quick cash. Fortunately, the Florida Attorney General's office recognized this for what it was, a violation of Florida's Deceptive and Unfair Trade Act, FDUPTA as we call it. The Florida Attorney General called it one of the worst abuses that crossed their desk in over 6 years. I couldn't agree more. Recently, a judge issued an injunction that completely shut down MV Realty's operations in Florida. The company is now prohibited from enforcing any of these agreements, collecting fees, or filing liens against homeowners' properties. More importantly, MV Realty has to clean up the mess they created. They had to record terminations for all the liens they placed on Florida properties. That's almost 10,000 homes to date. And they cannot interfere with homeowners who want to sell, refinance, refinance or transfer their properties. The judge also ordered that victims would receive direct notice about how to apply for restitution. While the monetary relief is still being determined, this injunction gives immediate relief to thousands of Florida homeowners who were trapped by these predatory agreements. In theory, the court might order MVR to pay back victims, but I wouldn't hold my breath since MVR filed bankruptcy in 2023 once their scam started falling apart. Now, MV Realty is legally prohibited from enforcing these agreements or collecting any fees. They cannot stop you from selling. They cannot stop you from refinancing. They cannot stop you from transferring your property. So if you or someone you know has one of these liens against their property, here's what you need to do immediately. First, MVR is required to record terminations of all their liens by the time this video is released. If not, they have to release them within 2 days of being notified, whether it's by you, your title agent, your attorney, your real estate agent, your lender, whatever, it doesn't matter. They have 2 days. Second, if you're trying to sell or refinance and MV Realty hasn't removed their lien yet, have your favorite real estate attorney contact them directly, demanding immediate termination. The court order gives you the legal backing to force this. I would love someone to reach out to me and say, hey, we reached out to MVR and they haven't released the lien, and reach out to me because I would love to do that work. I did it before all this and now I'm ready to do it again. And it's a lot easier now because I got Florida behind me. Third, if MVR refuses to cooperate or tries to collect money from you, contact the Florida Attorney General's office immediately. They are actively monitoring compliance with this injunction. Finally, keep an eye out for the restitution process. The court is still determining monetary relief for victims, and you should receive direct notice about how to apply for compensation if you were affected by this scheme. Like I said, I wouldn't get my hopes up, but it's worth monitoring. So how do you protect yourself from similar schemes? Here are some red flags to look out for. First, be extremely suspicious of any offer that involves quote-unquote free money tied to your property rights. There's no such thing as a free lunch, and especially not in real estate. If someone offers you cash today in exchange for future rights to your property, your spidey senses should be tingling. Second, never sign documents under pressure or without fully understanding them. If someone shows up at your door with a stack of papers and says you need to sign immediately, that is a huge red flag. Legitimate businesses give you time to review contracts and consult with your attorney. The more pressure you feel, the more concerned you should be. Third, be wary of agreements that last for decades. A typical listing agreement lasts 6 months to a year. Any agreement that ties up your property for 40 years is designed to trap you, not help you. Honestly, anything over 1 year, you should be very careful. Fourth, watch out for companies that cold call or try to send unsolicited mail about your home equity. While this doesn't automatically make it a scam, these types of companies are more likely to prey on desperate people. If you ever need help or feel stuck, the best course of action will be to ask around for referrals through your network. This is also why having a good real estate attorney can help. We can point you in the right direction if you need a loan, a real estate agent, or any other real estate service. Fifth, always read the fine print. I know it's boring, but predatory companies count on people not reading the actual terms. Of the 10,000 or so victims in Florida, how many of them do you think actually read the fine print? I'm guessing 0, or else they wouldn't have signed. If an agreement is more than a few pages long and it should be a simple agreement, that's a warning sign. The MV Realty case is a perfect example of why you need to be incredibly careful when anyone offers you something that seems too good to be true. These predatory companies target homeowners who are in financial distress, offering quick cash in exchange for long-term rights to their property. Remember, your home is likely your largest asset. Don't let anyone put a cloud on your title or restrict your ability to use your equity when you need it. If someone approaches you with an offer like this, your best response should be, let me review it and get back to you. The best protection is your own awareness and skepticism. When in doubt, consult with an attorney before signing anything that affects your property rights. If you found this video helpful and want to learn more about protecting yourself in real estate, hit the like button and let me know in the comments what you want to learn about next, and I got you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.